Alright, hello and welcome back to Arcade Calvacade. Today's game is xxmissio. Alright, I wanted there to be at least a little bit of sound. It's always annoying when your game has no sound whatsoever. Strangely, there is no date on this title screen, so I guess we'll just have to guess a date. I'm guessing very late 80s, very early 90s. Alright, welcome to xxmissio. Oh yeah, that's right. You press the second button to hit ground targets. And the game, I like how the game just like starts you off with ground targets. It's like, hey, remember Xevious? This game is also like Xevious. Hit the ground targets or get hit by the ground targets. That's an interesting dichotomy that they give you, but, well, that's just the name of the game. You know, I always thought Xevious was a little bit dorky for giving you that targeting system that kind of lets you approximate where your bombs are gonna land, but I'm starting to miss it. Jeez Louise, I really don't miss the differently colored bullets. Wow, these bullets are even harder to see than in a Rising shooter. So the problem is, the bullets are, I mean, yeah, they're glowing yellow or whatever, but they're not that different. And unfortunately, they are the exact same color as explosions. Oh my gosh, and they want you to thread the needle too. But it's like, I can't thread the needle. Look at my ship. This thing eats needles for breakfast. This is like, call it a porcupine. I got so many needles on my back. There's no way I can dodge them. Oh my gosh. Oh, and they shoot. I thought at least the one saving grace to these guys would be they don't shoot back, but nope. They shoot, and they double loop against you. This is just... Well, I was gonna say that this game is incredibly rough, but it's actually not. You just can't be dumb about it. Any sort of secrets? I don't know, you just see a random island in the middle of nowhere, and you just get a little bit suspicious. Like, your video game senses kind of kick in. It's like, hey, wait. Are there secrets? Okay, now these look like annoying enemies. In fact, these enemies look like they're gonna shoot at you. You know, I wonder if this game is a continue function. Well, I guess it's a little too early to start wondering about that, because I do have a life left, I think. Well, typical convention is to give you 3 lives, right? Anything else is impolite. Ooh. Okay, for a second there, I was debating if they were possibly friends. I mean, hey, you've played Afterburner, where your fellow jets come to help refuel you and kind of replenish your stocks, so it's not impossible. Oh my gosh, speaking of impossible though, hitting these ground targets, like, not only do you have to know the exact precise distance, but you gotta, like, hit them before it's too late. That is one of the real hard parts about Xevious that just takes no prisoners. I mean, again, the other hard part of Xevious were those stupid rotating walls that, like, you just could not break. And so this game, well, you can kind of sneak by, and, like, it lets you get away, but you just know that it's trying to distract you, and as soon as there were, like, enemies in front of you and that turret shooting at you from behind, look at that. The enemies loop around you. I'm already starting to get a little antsy with enemies right behind me. I mean, right now they're playing it cool. They're not trying to shoot me down, but you can't trust these enemies. They're gonna get you. Sooner or later, they're gonna get you. Jeez Louise. It's really... I mean, it's one of those things where it's easier than it looks, but I don't trust this easiness. Like, how am I doing so well? Land targets at sea. Are they sea targets? Are they land targets? Eternal conundrums that I don't really want to ponder right now. Oh my gosh, this game is just like the exact right difficulty. Like, a lot of games are too hard. A lot of games are too easy. This game, you might as well start calling it Goldilocks, because this game is just right. That actually doesn't make sense, because Goldilocks wasn't the one who was just right. It was the Little Bear, right? Okay, so we'll call this game Little Bear, because it's just right. Okay, that was a little bit wrong. Did you see that? Okay. I've never heard of a shoot-'em-up giving you 4 lives. That seems somewhat unheard of, but if you're gonna give me lemonade, I'll make lemons. That's backwards, but as long as I don't get shot down, everything's cool. Oh, man. Okay, I guess the gravy train had to come into station sometime. Whoa, 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 what is happening here? I've let my secret identity out. I am actually a sheep. Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody, but I'm actually a sheep. Oh my god. Oh, continue. Yes. You're just gonna have to imagine what my face looks like, but it's probably smiling, because we have a continue feature. I was just about to say, the music in this game is actually surprisingly awesome. I mean, it's half of its bass beat, but it's pretty energetic, and it's fun, and the difficulty is just right, although at times it can get a teach overwhelming. But again, that's just all what it's about. Wow, so you really do get 4 lives. And also your lives are represented by triangles, which I would make more fun of, but honestly I need all the triangles they're willing to give me. Wow. This game is kind of unexpected. Like, I booted up this game, it's called XX Mission, and it's like, XX Mission. You couldn't even come up with, like, I don't know, some variation in the title, like maybe XY Mission or something, but no, XX Mission, and it's like, geez, well, this game is gonna be an XX stinker, but as it turns out, it is a hidden gem. The game is also impossible, by the way. This game is way too difficult. Like, it cannot be beaten by normal mortal humans. I like how it says press start button to continue, but you have to put in a coin first. How's that for your dose of daily realism? Alright, let's see if we can get past this firestorm. So, well, I was gonna say, the trick is to not stay in one place, and to not bother destroying anything and just to move around. And then, when I went to bother destroying something, then I died. So I guess the moral of the story is, I know what I'm talking about, and I should really do as I say, not as I do. Yeah. Do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so I say beat the level with my eyes closed. Well, I could probably do that. On the bright side, the ships do make for very appealing land-sea targets, because they're very wide. And so what that means is, like, you can, like, kind of shoot them, but you can move back, and you can keep shooting them. And it's actually surprisingly easy to do this. So let's see. I think one of the tricks is either I become A++ ace at dodging shots, or I can learn how to weave and dodge, duck and dodge, and kill enough of the ships that I don't have such a ridiculous firestorm at me. Okay. So this is one of those shoot 'em ups with checkpoints. So the way that works is there are certain checkpoints, and to get past them, well, you need to be good enough to get to the next checkpoint. Now, unfortunately, what that means is, no matter the fact that we have this continue function at our hands, at our disposal, we still need to be good enough to make it past this immediate spot. So, let's do a fast forward cut to, either when I got a life from the score. Okay, that explains how I had 4 lives. Okay, so we're gonna do a cut, and I don't know if I'm gonna make it to the next checkpoint, or if I'm gonna go back to the title screen and start talking about this game. It'll be a surprise. Unless the video is like 30 minutes long, in which case you could probably reasonably assume that I made it. But don't spoil the surprise for yourself. Oh. Well, I was gonna joke for a second. Oh man, I forgot that you had to shoot jets with your bombs. Oh, well, okay. At least I made it to the next checkpoint. But I was gonna joke, it's like, oh man, at least I forgot that you had to shoot jets with your guns, and not with your bombs. Yeah, I didn't think I'd make it, huh? Me neither. But I did. Well, you know, relatively speaking. Oh yeah, I thought of a explanation for the ba thing. I'm gonna change the channel name to Ashgabat Alpaca, soon, and so I just wanted to, you know, introduce you guys to the idea. So where exactly is the end thing? This is a borderline acceptable name entry screen, but it seems like there's no end, there's no space. Pretty much you can just pad out your name with weird symbols, which I'm more than happy to do, but... Okay, good. Okay, good. I was gonna say, I've seen that one ship in that one spot a few too many times. So unfortunately, at this point, you really just have to, like, memorize, like, you have to really just focus in, hunker down, and memorize where the ships are coming, destroy them as you go. Remember to shoot the planes with your guns and not with your bombs. But there's not a lot to say at this point. It's mostly just stuff to do. Okay, I was gonna stay quiet till the next interesting thing happened, but it seems like the game's gonna get a little easier from now on. Oh, do we fight a boss? I thought this game didn't roll with bosses. It seems to kind of just flow from one stage to another. Oh yeah, one-hit land targets. None of these 50-hit ships. Nonsense. Bullhickeys. And, screen is just rife with land targets. Wow. This is like a complete breather after all those ships. Like, it might not have seemed like it, but those ships really do hurt. And especially because they shoot like 4 shots at you. It's like in these sorts of games, quality doesn't matter so much because you're gonna die no matter what. Well, okay. Any shot that hits you, it's gonna kill you. Now, what's the WAP? That I really don't know. What's this WAP guy? Well, no time to worry about it. That is a little boring. Let's see you guys later. Oh, look at those hidden guys shooting at me from the trees. I thought I could destroy them, but nope. They're pretty hidden. So, okay. The game's like, yeah, I see you destroying all of our land targets with one bomb. So you know what? We're gonna make it a little hard. We're gonna make it so you can't destroy all the land targets. Now this is not quite as daunting as it sounds, because that's almost like how we were planning on attacking WoW. Is it me or is the screen like scrolling upwards? Maybe that's just me. But anyway, they're making it, there really is no space. Okay, there is a space. See? Okay. So this was early enough, well okay, late enough that they had continues, but still early enough that they didn't have end buttons in name entry screens. But anyway, even though they're shooting at me and I can't destroy them, pretty much this is where we would have been if we just tried to, you know, sneak past the ships, not try to destroy them as we went along. So, honestly, I can deal with it. The thing I don't like, though, like, I'm fine with having to deal with the turrets, the invisible turrets. I just kind of wish I knew, like, where they were, so I at least knew where the shots were coming from. Because you don't want to, like, move into a place. Because the other thing, too, is with the ships, it seemed like there was sort of a grace period when they set off the, when they shot at you. Like, there was sort of a grace period where the bullet had to reach altitude before it could actually destroy you. But here, it seems like it reaches altitude a whole lot quicker. It almost seems like... maybe it's just bigger targets do, I don't know. And, back to the sea. Back to the sea. Is it me or, like, when I move a little forward, then the whole screen seems to, like, shimmer and shake? Or maybe that's just when I move my eyes, I don't know. Something about the refresh rate of this game is a little bit hinky, but everything else is surprisingly solid. I mean, it's basic, but it's solid. It's kind of like a rock. It's like rocks are kind of boring, and they're kind of basic, but they're solid. Okay, so you've got a limited space to maneuver, so what you gotta do is you gotta weave around, stand your ground, and then destroy them as they flip around. Okay, for all those rhymes, I did not last a lot longer than life. But anyway, just think of it like you're in the pocket, and you gotta get that last minute Hail Mary shot. Well, you gotta... anyway. Now, you are a little bit safe, in that if you keep shooting, then one of them's probably not going to directly run into you, because, like, you shoot faster than, like, they can get past. Well, kind of. You gotta watch those angles, though. Okay. So you can't only have a limited number of shots out on screen. So for a brief period in time, I was thinking, like, oh, maybe I'll go auto-fire in this game. But as it turns out, the game thought of that, and while it'll sort of let you do it, it won't let you trivialize the game. Okay, speaking of trivializing the game, let's fast forward to, yet again, either I'll make it past it, or I won't. Well, I made it past that obstacle. Let's see what the next impossible obstacle is. Jeez Louise, there's no subtlety, there's no grace. It's just a bunch of planes in your face. Jeez Louise, the easiest way to play this is to play it like it's some sort of Galaga bonus round where you gotta shoot all the planes before they get there. Because if you let the planes kind of turn around, then they're gonna shoot at you. Even looking at these planes... Oh my god, I wish I knew that was coming up. Not knowing that was coming up makes it a little cheap. But anyway, it seems like the winning strategy is to shoot the planes before they can shoot at you. It sounds kind of basic, but it's an interesting difference in way of thinking about it. Hey, I can't speak right now. I'm a little bit busy shooting down an entire an entire country's armed forces. Yeah, can't catch me off guard if I'm expecting it. Hey, I almost made it that time. Okay. Alright, I wonder what dangers are in store. Okay. That was easy enough. What's next? That was... well, it wasn't really anything I haven't seen before, but... please let there be a checkpoint in between that. Well, a moment of truth. Okay, there we go. Okay, I can deal with this. See, it's a very fair game. Difficulty is just right. Like, it's enough that it's gonna give you a challenge. Holy cow monkeys. What a challenge. But at the same time, like, with a bit of perseverance, a bit of memorization, a bit of, you know, natural improvement and skill, then you too can make it past all of these obstacles. Oh my gosh, it's like somebody took the best parts of Galaga and the best parts of 1942 and mashed them together into some sort of crazy hybrid. Like, they took the special stages of Galaga, well, this is, of course, all speculation, and they took sort of the plains and vague aesthetic of 1942, and so they made it where it's like, okay, planes come in with their own special patterns and whatever, and so, like, you have to know what's coming at you, but at the same time, like, if you know what the pattern is, it's not going to be terribly hard to shoot them all down. But at the same time, you got, like, sort of the generalities of 1942, like, you got the big planes, you got power-ups, I guess. I think there were power-ups in this game. I got one once. Literally once. And no other times. But otherwise, not a bad game. Well, besides, lots of these sorts of games don't even give you power-ups. Like Super Transformation Finalizer gave you basically jack-nil in terms of power-ups. And that game's literal namesake was a special mode that you obtained by getting a power-up, where you actually transform from a plane to a mech. Or flying mech or whatever. It's been 5 years. Well, that's a new threat. Okay. At the very least, now we can continue where we are. But, oh my gosh. Well, just like everything else in this game, though, it's not as difficult as it appears, but it's still something you have to, like, deal with. Oh my gosh. And again, the torpedoes aren't vulnerable until they're fully in the sky, but at the same time, you can kind of deal with them. Well, in theory, one should be able to deal with them. Oh gosh. Okay, I didn't think that would work, but I got lucky like 3 times in a row there. But yeah, basically the difficulty there is you gotta make your cutback, but at the same time you have, like, you can shoot some of the torpedoes. But the thing is, like, you want to make a cutback to where there were very few torpedoes. But you gotta shoot down like, there are fewer torpedoes, but there's still at least one, so you still gotta shoot it. So it's it's tricky. It is, of course, easier to see than it is to explain, but I'm still not sure if it's either easier to explain or easier to do. And yeah, now with these plane formations coming at you, the safest part of the screen is no longer the bottom. Now, thankfully, your plane moves fast enough that, like, you're never really, like, trapped at the bottom of the screen or anything, but yeah, you definitely cannot hang out at the bottom, which, fair enough. Like, you don't have to hang out at the bottom in this game, but the extra reaction time would be welcome. Oh man, oh man. Oh man, oh man. Now, one interesting advantage of being upper on the screen is that you can actually shoot at the enemies faster. Now, this sounds like kind of a duh thing, and it's like, well, it's kind of true in every shoot 'em up. But this is one of those games where, like, rate of fire really matters, and any extra bit of rate of fire you can, like, squeak out of your plane will definitely carry you through. Because, again, you can only have so many bullets on screen at a time. And, like, unless you memorized exactly where those planes are going to come from, which, again, is possible because it does repeat patterns, but unless you're willing to do that, and unless you're willing to pay for the credits to do that, then you're also better off just kind of, well, shooting as much as you can. Oh man, this is going to be another one of those difficult ones. All right. I think... Oh. If there's no timer... Well, I think... Okay. Well, good thing I had player 2 start map to my keyboard. Oh, wow. This game really just smells good blood. Well, I won't give up if you won't give. Well, that was Double X Mission. Honestly, it was, well, I said it before, I'll say it again, it was the perfect difficulty. It's kind of a game that really grows with you. Now, it's kind of interesting because, like, when it grows with you, it's like, well, it kind of grows with you as you go along. So it kind of takes the typical structure of these checkpoint shoot-em-ups where you go along, you hit a checkpoint, and then you get completely destroyed by the sometimes cheap pattern of enemies. And then you keep starting from that checkpoint, you play through it a few times, you kind of get a hang of what the enemies are, what they're going to do to you, and then you beat them. And then you make it to the next checkpoint, and then rinse and repeat. Oh, and here you can see from the name entry screen, I never quite got the hang of entering my name. My favorite is the fourth score, bringing some zero wing back in here. UPL Company Limited. I feel like I've seen that logo before, but I also feel like the game I saw it in may not have been good enough to remember. But yeah, if this is Double X Mission, I can't wait for Triple X Mission. They seem to be getting better each game. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, those torpedoes, like... And then they don't even stop. Oh wow, so this is like the demo, but like the player ship is already destroyed. And the demo keeps on going. It's like, hey, check out this exciting enemy pattern that you'll never be able to dodge because even the demo ship can't do it. What hope do you have? Oh man, this game is surprisingly great. There are just so many of these like hidden shoot-em-ups that are just hidden, like... Oh, is this space? You get to play in space? Okay, quick question. In space, do you hit enemies with your regular shot or with your land-based shot? Oh, wow. So this is like an honest-to-goodness boss fight. You versus a Concorde shuttle. Man, this game, it just keeps on delivering, and I just love these, like, hidden shoot-em-ups. I mean, okay, real talk. It's perhaps not that hard to make a shoot-em-up, but still, like, I've played a fair bit of shoot-em-ups on this channel. Not all of them are good. And so, yeah, it's easy to kind of slapdash a scrolling background, and slapdash some moving enemies, moving player ship that shoots stuff. but it's not always easy to make it good. And you play a game like this, you play a game like... There's something like Lightning Fighters I was playing a while ago. They're good, honest, solid checkpoint shooters. And like, yeah, there are other better games that came later, and they're not the first of their kind either, but they're good, solid games. You want a game that you can just put a good, solid afternoon into playing, learning, and then eventually, hopefully, maybe, possibly, beating. They're good games for that. They're good games. So we'll add this one to the list. Unfortunately, that list has no end. So on that note, this cat's got a scat.